1438. If you thought it's a year number, you're wrong. But if you thought was the exact number of obtainable items in survival Minecraft at the time of me making this video, you're right. While not every item can be earned in survival, there are still hundreds that can be obtained through the use of farms. These farms can be massive and an absolute eyesore, but that's where I come in. I'm gonna design a building that can house all these farms that we ever need while it still looks epic. Starting any large project will need proper planning, so this is what we will do. First, know which farms we will focus on now. This will be iron, gunpowder, string, and crops, with obviously room for more in the future. Then, you have to know what other features we have to provide: storage, smelting, concrete maker, and so on. With that being known, it's just a matter of polishing our idea, gathering resources, and building it block by block. But you won't see that, except the building part, I guess. With any new build, we start from the bottom and work our way upwards. No difference here, but right now we're simply making pillars for a mega structure which will have farms on the inside, so we're not wasting any space. In here, the pillars contain mob farms. These are designed to only have spiders and creepers spawn, as those are the only useful items to drop from mobs, at least for us. With redstone timers, the mobs are happily flushed down, where they drop their loot. Those drops will then be picked up by a minecart, which will eventually send everything into tunnels to the main storage hall. This is the center of the build. Here, you can turn on all farms at once, and it's in the perfect location to also AFK all farms for maximum efficiency. After everything is fancied up with details, we move back outside, where we add some beams and support just to make things look more mechanical and complex. So hold up, I don't usually build things like this. I like building smaller, colorful things like houses. But this is something completely new. Though you've seen the thumbnail, and yes, we're building a massive ore rig. If you don't know what an ore rig is, it's a superstructure placed in the ocean where it drills for oil deep below the surface. This time, however, we're adding farms to it instead of oil for obvious reasons. Back to the build, we're placing in our first platform. This thick layer of blocks gives our build a lot of volume, shadow, and unmatched functionality, which you will see later. Right now you get a pretty rough idea of how things are panning out. I just hope it's enough room for everything we still need and to still have space for the future. So at this point the base of the ore rig is done. Now we simply add some cranes, a sub-platform, our farms, the main storage, and some extra details. Speaking of extra detail, the massive stone slab looks kind of bland. To fix that, we're adding some details to the sides, but more importantly, an extra platform on top. This platform is where we'll actually build on. Doing this creates an open layer which is perfect for redstone and other logistical challenges. If you play Minecraft enough, you know that most people travel through the Nether, because it's 8 times faster. For that, we're adding a sweet little portal for quick access. To keep things interesting, I'm building a chopper that actively holds up the portal. Here, we will have spare items used to build the ore rig, which we keep in the chopper in case we're building extra farms or expanding on the build. The center of the build is made from white blocks, as you can obviously see. This strongly contrasts against the red and blue that we already have in the area, but it also highlights the important part of this build, the main storage hall. This center also allows for easy access into other farms, and for the sake of bragging rights, yes, I added this radio antenna on top just to hit world's build limit. As mentioned earlier, we're adding cranes to our build. These cranes are just for aesthetic reasons and don't really provide much other than to look cute. This crane specifically will hold a guardian since there's an ocean monument right next to it. And with the power of video editing, we now have all cranes in place. Alright, the first farm that we're gonna build is gonna be the crop farm as we mentioned at the start. I designed this industrial looking build which will house 36 crop fields managed by villagers, fully automatic. It's quite the sight. The villagers are obviously here on their own free will. Similarly to the mob farms, these ones also work with minecarts that eject the drops into tunnels and they are also sent to the same storage. The second farm isn't technically a farm, it's essentially a modular frame that allows us to swap mini farms in and out. Things like tree farms, concrete makers, and anything else that can benefit from TNT explosions. Simply put, it's just a fancy collection tray with a spacious frame, which will help us in the future with various farms as the game continues to, well, update. If you're interested in getting any of my builds for yourself, you can do just that through my Patreon page. I'll have it linked below. Up next, our third addition would be our smelter. This smelter features a more modular design using rather uncommon blocks and 2 smokestacks that you can't really miss. The smokestacks provide a bit of extra height where the other farms don't, but it also just looks cool, you know. Once we head inside, we're met with not a single normal furnace. Instead, we only have blast furnaces and smoker options for the ores and food. This will make sense later on. Additionally, the furnace types are also not often used, so I really wanted to put them into the spotlight that we're doing right now. With all the farms being in place, we still have a lot of room left. It's time to fill those empty gaps up with some decoration. Things like pipes, silos, and containers will be crucial to make this place come alive. These silos can also be perfect for small farms that don't need much space, look like sugarcane farms, bamboo, you name it. We also added walkways around the entire build so you don't have to fly everywhere, making everything accessible by foot from anywhere, which is pretty important. There are many parts you haven't properly seen yet, especially the center pillar. This area is quite spacious and it's our primary logistics hub. This is where all our items come through, redstone signals are sent out, and much more can be done here if need be. To prove that, we even added a multi-layer iron farm at the very bottom, keeping everything here functional and profitable. This wouldn't be a proper ore rig without a proper ship. To fix that, we will simply add a little boat next to it and call it a day. Not really. This boat needs to follow the same rules as the main build. Things like it being spacious and accessible. The ship features some classic details as you would see on actual oil tankers, or whatever they may be called. Details like valves, pipes, and a proper walkway leading to the helm. I'm also no ship professional. I play CFDs occasionally, but I don't think it's a source of information. Do you remember that we didn't add normal furnaces to the build? Well, they're here. We built a super shulker smelter. Try to say that 10 times fast, I won't. You can simply throw in a full shulker box and collect the molten items within seconds. If you think this is a simple creative project, let me explain. This was in fact all built in survival and took our lovely group over a year to finish. I did rebuild this in creative for the sake of this very video, but with that finally out of the way, let's take a little walk. When leaving the portal, you're met with a grand entrance leading into the build. You'll find the AFK spot, the main turn-on switch, and a way to go up. Once we head up, we can finally lay eyes on our storage. Just a bunch of chests put together where everything gets collected. And yes, it's properly filtered using redstone, but don't ask me how that works. I don't understand a single thing that's happening. We also use this area to store other items from farms that aren't included on the rig. Up next we have some hallways leading to our smeltery and the modular farms that we've seen earlier on. So after spending over a year on this silly little project, it takes the crown on anything I've ever built so far. But now, it's time to take it all in and enjoy.